Teck Resources, one of the last big Canadian miners of critical minerals, is being acquired by British mining giant Anglo American. There are several hurdles to jump before it's official, including a review by Ottawa. Let's go to Jonathan Price, President and Chief Executive Officer of Teck Resources. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Marella. Pleasure to be here.
Why now? What led you to agree to this deal? And is it the challenges you're facing with the copper mine in Chile?
Look, we've been working on simplifying our portfolio for a number of years. We've exited a number of businesses to ensure that we are almost entirely focused on copper, because we see this as a key strategic metal for the future and great fundamentals ahead of us here. The opportunity here with Anglo American to create Anglo Teck is a profound one, in that it will create a scaled and high quality platform comprising 6 world-class copper assets with incredible synergies associated with the combination of the two companies. We have secured, through our work with Anglo American, a commitment for them to move the global headquarters here to Vancouver, Canada, which we think is a great thing for the country. And of course, that head office will be populated by the majority of the senior executives for this transaction. So we think this is great for shareholders. The focus on copper, on scale, on quality is something clearly that the market wants right now. We think this is great for Canada because of the commitments that we're making to establish the global headquarters here, and many other undertakings we're making for ongoing investment in Canada. And we think this is something that that shareholders, the government, and Canada more broadly should be very pleased with.
Okay, so let's break it down a little bit more. The mine in Chile, we know that you have pivoted to try and focus on. There have been problems with that, cost overruns, time delays. Did you feel like your hand was a little forced by the fact that you do need some focus and perhaps some help on that project?
Look, we have a path forward for the mine, Quebrada Blanca in Chile. We have to work through some of the tailings-related development that's required to enable us to take that to full production. But we're fully confident that we'll overcome those challenges, and we believe that this will continue to be viewed as a world-class asset, and that the intrinsic value of that asset is not in any way diminished. So we very much look forward to working through that. The reason for doing this transaction now is that these opportunities don't come along very often. These opportunities to put together a combination with a relatively comparable peer with great assets and a like-minded outlook to what it takes to be a mining company that delivers value to shareholders with a basis of responsible operations. These combinations don't come along very often, and when you see them, you have to seize them. And that's exactly what we're doing here in this combination with Anglo American, and we couldn't be more excited to be creating Anglo Teck.
A year ago, the stock was above $53. Now it's about $39, and that's with the boost of this announcement. Some may say you're selling too cheaply. How do you respond to that?
Look, we think there's incredible upside to be generated through the combination that we're putting together here. We have structured this as a true merger of equals, and that is really reflected in terms of how the board and senior management team is comprised. There are enormous synergies that can be unlocked in 2 areas. One, corporate synergies. We've said $800 million per annum through procurement, through marketing, through consolidation of these 2 companies. And then another $1.4 billion of annual EBITDA uplift through the combination of the Quebrada Blanca mine in Chile and the adjacent Collahuasi mine, in which Anglo American has a significant interest. There is material upside to be had here, and that's before looking at the company that we will be creating here. We'll be creating the 5th largest copper producer in the world, but one that comprises entirely of very high quality, large, long life assets in very, very good jurisdictions throughout the Americas. I expect this to be a must-own mining company for investors.
I just want to let people know we were also looking at the line chart. I was quoting the U.S. numbers. We were looking at the TSX a moment ago. So this is an all-stock deal, no premium for Teck shareholders. Why not?
This is a true merger of equals. This is 2 companies bringing together very complementary portfolios, bringing together world-class assets and sharing in the upside. And that's the key point in this. There is significant upside here that Teck Resources shareholders will have access to through this transaction, and we're very excited by that potential.
China Investment Corp is one of your big shareholders. Have you spoken to them? Are they on board with the deal?
Look, we are currently out on the road speaking to investors all over the world and gathering their feedback. There is real recognition here for the industrial logic of this and the quality of the business we're creating. Now, of course, those conversations are very preliminary at this point in time. But one thing, I can point you to is the appreciation in the stock price of 17% in Teck Resources since this deal was announced. And I think that's an immediate recognition that there is value to be had here.
Was there any effort, any look at putting together a Canadian deal with other Canadian players?
Look, we've looked globally to understand what is the best opportunity for shareholders and all stakeholders here, and we've concluded that the best partner we could find is Anglo American and the assets that they bring together. We are very, very committed to Canada. You see that through the undertakings that we've put forward as part of the release. You see that through the commitment to have the global headquarters of this business in Vancouver, Canada, the commitment to have the majority of senior management in Vancouver, Canada, and the significant investments that we're prepared to make. And we've spoken to 4.5 billion Canadian dollars over 5 years that we will make in the Canadian critical minerals sector. I think this is a phenomenal opportunity for Canada, and we're very proud to have been able to pull these commitments together and present them to the Canadian government. Will you entertain other offers if they come forward? Look, we are very focused on moving this transaction forward, taking it to a vote of our shareholders later this year, and then pursuing the regulatory approvals that we require to get this to close. We, of course, in putting forward this transaction, absolutely believe this is in the best interests of our shareholders, and we intend to move forward as such. Is there a timeline on how long that HQ has to stay in Vancouver? I'm wondering what has been done here to get that regulatory approval that you say you need from Ottawa. So, of course, the regulatory approval process is in front of us. The commitment that we are making to Canada and the presence of the global headquarters of Anglo Teck in Canada is an enduring commitment. Is an enduring commitment, but there isn't a timeline scheduled or a time when that HQ can move out of Canada? No, what I mean by enduring is it's a perpetual commitment. The headquarters of this company, Anglo Teck, will remain in Canada in perpetuity. Got it. What will your role be? My role will be Deputy CEO in this new organization. So Teck Resources chair will be the chair of Anglo Teck. The Anglo American CEO will be the CEO of Anglo Teck, and I will be the deputy CEO. So working alongside the CEO with a particular focus on the integration of these businesses. Integration is so critical to ensure that the value that we're talking to our investors about can be delivered, and of course can be delivered quickly. Integration is complex. I have prior experience of doing this, and I think I can add a lot of value to the company by making that my focus in the early years of Anglo Teck. Jonathan, what's your last pitch to investors who might still be on the fence about this? Look, what I would say is we are creating a company here that is truly special in terms of the scale, in terms of the quality of assets, and in terms of the value that we will deliver to shareholders over the short, medium, and long term. Jonathan Price is President and Chief Executive Officer of Teck Resources. Appreciate your time on this. Thanks for joining us on The Close.